Good day, class. It's Mr. Sargent here with your day 110 recap video for ELA and for science. Now, in ELA today, we focused on traveling to the stars. Well, we learned a little bit about space, and we learned about someone's dream to go into space. One of our Black History Month figures of the month, Mae Jemison, who, if you don't know anything about Mae Jemison, today's the day, ladies and gentlemen. She is incredible. Then we talked about adverbs, and I cannot wait to share with you just what adverbs are and where we can find them. And then finally, we're taking a trip to the desert, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to look at our chart to see what information we can put in. So sit back, let's get ready to work. Whoa. I'm in space, ladies and gentlemen. This is amazing. Have you ever had a dream to go to the stars, to go into outer space? Well, if it's your dream, you share a dream with someone really, really incredible, and that is Mae Jemison. Now, Mae is an incredible figure when we're talking about Black History Month, but not just Black History Month. We're talking about American history, ladies and gentlemen. When we read about Mae Jemison today, you will see someone have a dream of, since they were a little kid, going into space. It's an amazing dream to have, and it didn't stop even after she got her chance to go into space, ladies and gentlemen. She continues to spread knowledge and spread information and spread fun just to kids, to teach them a little bit about space and about science. It's one of the reasons why she's one of my favorites. So let's sit back and let's read along with me the story, Who is Mae Jemison? Mae Jemison is a scientist. She's a researcher. She worked hard to become the first African-American woman to enter space. She was born in Decatur, Alabama on October 17, 1956, but she grew up in Chicago, Illinois. After turning 3 years old, she had two older siblings, a sister and a brother. When she was little, she liked to dance. She liked science and astronomy. She wanted to go to space. Mae went to college in California and New York. She kept dancing while at school. Finally, Mae became a doctor. She worked in Africa as a doctor for 2 years. On her second try, now stop right there. On her second try, she didn't achieve her dream the first try, but she didn't give up, ladies and gentlemen. On her second try, Mae became an astronaut for NASA. She finally went to space. She was on the same mission as the first Japanese astronaut. After leaving NASA, she started a camp called The Earth We All Share, or The Earth We Share. The camp helps kids learn more about science. And as you know, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sargent really likes science, doesn't he? All right? Kids go to the camp from all around the world. At the camp, young scientists get to share their ideas about future missions. Now, Dr. Mae Jemison lives in Texas. She still does research. She is trying to find ways to get to another star. All her work inspires others to reach for the stars too. And ladies and gentlemen, she is an inspiration to everyone that's ever had a dream to become an astronaut, to go into space. When you think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream, of Frederick Douglass's dream, of every person that we've talked about this month and their dream, there's one thing they have in common. They had a dream and they did not give up. Dr. Mae Jemison is a great example. Even as a young girl, she dreamed to be in space. And through a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of training, she rose to that challenge and achieved her dream, ladies and gentlemen. I encourage all of you, if you have a dream, reach for the stars. Like Dr. Mae Jemison said, reach for the stars and don't give up. And speaking of don't give up, if you look at the bottom of this activity, you will see a series of questions that I really want to know the answers to. So in the description below, as well as on Google Classroom and Class Dojo, you will find this activity, and I cannot wait to see what answers you put in about Dr. Mae Jemison. Now, the next thing we talked about, ladies and gentlemen, were adverbs. Now, One thing I love doing, and those of you that come to my tutoring sessions know I love doing these. They're called Mad Libs. Mad Libs are a great way to tell a story in a funny way. They leave a lot of blanks in the story, and they ask you to put in parts of speech. Now, you don't know if it's going to make sense or not. You just know your parts of speech. And then once you put those in, it tells a funny story, and it's just an entertaining way to learn about our parts of speech and to write a fun story. Well, today we're going to be focusing on something that I keep seeing in these Mad Libs, and it's something called an adverb. Now, we already know what a noun is. A noun describes a person, place, or thing, or an idea. A verb is an action. An adjective describes the noun. But what does the adverb do? Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to learn exactly what the adverb does. So to teach today, I'm going to use one sentence that was created in class today. The sentence is, the elephant ran quickly through the park. Now, I want you to imagine that elephant running. Well, there's the elephant right there, running through the park. But how did the elephant run? If we take a look at this sentence, we know the elephant is the noun. We know ran is the verb. Quickly is the adverb. See, ladies and gentlemen, adverbs describe the verb. So if you look at an action, and if the sentence tells you how the action is being done, then ladies and gentlemen, that's an adverb. Now, oftentimes adverbs end in an ly. It's one of those great ways that we can identify an adverb very quickly. Well, there was one right there, quickly. And that was also in our sentence. Can you think of any other adverbs? Slowly. Good. Steadily. That's a tougher one, but that's a good one. All right. Neatly. All of these words end in an ly, don't they? So they can be classified as an adverb. Now, I have a quick activity for you. We did it in class, but if you take a look and if you just pause the video, see if you can point out and find the adverbs in this sentence. I'm sure you can. And tomorrow we're going to talk even more about adverbs. It's getting hot, ladies and gentlemen. Where am I? I thought I was in space earlier. Where am I, ladies and gentlemen? Because in science today we talked about this biome. Now this biome it's hot. It's very hot. It's dry. I need something to drink. There's not a lot of animals, but I do see a few. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the desert right now. Now, as you already know, the desert is hot and dry. In fact, the average temperature during the day during the summer is around 120 degrees. I don't know about you. I want to stay in with my air conditioning if it's 120 degrees out. I don't know about you. You may want to go outside. I'm just saying, it's going to be a little too hot for us to go out and play. Now, when we think about where they're located, deserts can be found all over the world. Now, some deserts are hot, like the one I'm in right now. But with the power of science, now I'm cold. Well, and I'm hearing things, how is this a desert? It's cold. We talked about this yesterday with tundra. Tundras don't get a lot of rain either, so they're classified as a desert as well. I need to go back to the heat. Give me a second. That's a lot better, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the thing. Any area, any biome that gets less than 10 inches of rain a year can be classified as a desert. In fact, so on every continent, ladies and gentlemen, we have desert. Now, what kind of living creatures can actually live there? Well, for plant life, we know not much because plants need water. So in a lot of deserts that we see in North America, we see cactus. Don't touch the cactus, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me on this one. Definitely don't give it a hug. The reason why cactuses survive in the desert very easily is because they have what we call shallow roots, which means they don't go very deep. They go along the surface of the ground. And what that's able to do is it captures any rain or any moisture that may fall. And the great thing about the cactus is it stores up that water so we can use and survive. Now, as far as animals go, we know there are certain animals in different kinds of deserts. If we're talking about African deserts, we're talking about in Asian deserts, we're talking about camels, some snakes, some scorpions, definitely. If we're talking about North American deserts, though, we have things like coyotes. We have some birds that live there. We have definitely rattlesnakes and some tortoise that live there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, there is life there. We just got to know where to look. Now, the one place where they often live, because if you look at the desert, there's not a lot of places for an animal to live. So what they do is they burrow, which means they dig their house underground. Now, what advantages is that going to have? Well, think about when it's 120 degrees outside. Wouldn't it be a lot cooler underground? Yeah, and that's exactly why they do that. A lot of animals stay in their burrows during the day and only come out at night. Interesting, isn't it? So, with all that information, let's take a look at our chart here. And if you notice on our chart, we've actually already put the weather, the location, the plants, and the animals. So if you haven't put this on your chart yet, then go ahead and hit pause so you can get a good look at this chart. Now, for weather, if you notice, it's hot and dry, less than 10 inches of rain. That's important to know, ladies and gentlemen. All right. They're found all over the world in location. Some plants, cactuses, and some grasses, but there's not a lot of plant life, is there? And for animals, I put coyote, tortoise, snakes, and burrowing animals. Could you put camels in there? Yes, you could. All right. So one assignment that I have for you is to take a look at this table and this chart, which you can find the link in the description below, or I've already sent it to you, Google Classroom or Class Dojo, and take a look at the other biomes that we've talked about. We've talked about the deciduous forest. We've talked about the tundra. We've talked about the rainforest. Go ahead and fill those out. Now, the two biomes you should leave blank, grassland and taiga, because ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, we're getting out of this heat. Whew, we've been in cold weather on Monday. Today it's hot. Tomorrow we're gonna get back to somewhat normal temperatures. And we're gonna talk about two biomes, the grasslands and the taiga. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you did an incredible job. I wanna thank my class this morning that I had. You guys truly did an amazing job this morning. I love the way you guys worked. I love the way you guys helped each other out. And I loved the questions you asked. So for my class this morning, keep up the incredible work. And I cannot wait to see you and everybody else tomorrow. So until then, have a great night.